Welcome you to Consumer Times News. We are raising issues on social media to create awareness in society. We also raise consumer complaints with the concerned authorities, companies etc. If you want to raise your voice or raise any issue, please come forward, send the issue to us. If it is in the interest of large number of persons, we will certainly raise it. Moreover, if you like our videos, please subscribe our channel to motivate us to bring more videos.
We at Consumer Times are bringing different issues for the benefit of society as well as a prize government. If you like these issues, please comment, like and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel and share this video. This might benefit someone and motivate our team to bring more videos. Now we talk about wars between two countries. Results are bad. Instead of books, guns are in the hand of youngsters to save dignity of their motherland. At present, the Russia-Ukrainian War is an ongoing war between Russia, together with pro-Russian separatist forces, and Ukraine. It began in February 2014 following the Ukrainian Revolution of Dignity, and initially focused on the status of Crimea and parts of the Donbas, internationally recognized as part of Ukraine. Russia-Ukraine relations refer to the bilateral ties between the Russian Federation and Ukraine. Following the Ukrainian Revolution of Dignity in 2014, Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula was occupied by unmarked Russian forces, later being annexed by Russia, while pro-Russia separatists simultaneously engaged the Ukrainian military in an armed conflict for control over eastern Ukraine. These events marked the beginning of the ongoing Russo-Ukrainian War. In a major escalation of the conflict on the 24th of February 2022, Russia launched a full-scale invasion of the Ukrainian mainland across a broad front, causing Ukraine to sever all formal diplomatic ties with Russia. After the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, the successor states' bilateral relations have undergone periods of ties, tensions, and outright hostility. In the early 1990s, Ukraine's policy was dominated by aspirations to ensure its sovereignty and independence, followed by a foreign policy that balanced cooperation with the European Union, EU, Russia, and other powerful polities. The February Revolution saw establishment of official relations between the Russian Provisional Government and the Ukrainian Central Rada, Central Council of Ukraine, that was represented at the Russian government by its Commissar Petro Stebnitsky. At the same time, Dmitry Odinets was appointed the representative of Russian affairs in the Ukrainian government. After the Soviet military aggression by the Soviet government at the beginning of 1918, Ukraine declared its full independence from the Russian Republic on the 22nd of January 1918, as the Ukrainian People's Republic, which existed from 1917 to 1922. The two treaties of Brest-Litovsk that Ukraine and Russia signed separately with the Central Powers calmed the military conflict between them, and peace negotiations were initiated the same year. After the end of World War I, Ukraine became a battleground in the Ukrainian War of Independence, linked to the Russian Civil War. Both Russians and Ukrainians fought in nearly all armies based on personal political beliefs. In 1922, Ukraine and Russia were two of the founding members of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, and were the signatories of the treaty that terminated the Union in December 1991. The end of the Russian Empire also ended the ban on the Ukrainian language. 22. This was followed by a period of Korenizatsiya that promoted the cultures of the different Soviet republics. In 1932–1933, Ukraine experienced the Holodomor, killing by starvation, which was a man-made famine in the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic that killed up to 7.5 million Ukrainians. During the famine, which is also known as the terror famine in Ukraine, and famine genocide in Ukraine, millions of citizens of the Ukrainian SSR, the majority being ethnically Ukrainian, died of starvation in an unprecedented peacetime catastrophe. Scholars disagree on the relative importance of natural factors and bad economic policies as causes of the famine, and the degree to which the destruction of the Ukrainian peasantry was premeditated by Soviet leaders. The Holodomor famine extended to many Soviet republics, including Russia and Kazakhstan. In the absence of documentary proof of intent, scholars have also argued that the Holodomor was caused by the economic problems associated with the radical changes implemented during the period of liquidation of private property and Soviet industrialization, combined with the widespread drought of the early 1930s. After dissolution of the Soviet Union, Ukraine gained its independence and inherited the third largest nuclear stockpile in the world, along with significant means of its design and production. The country had 130UR-100N intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBM, with 6 warheads each, 46 RT-23 Molodets ICBMs with 10 warheads apiece, as well as 33 heavy bombers, totaling approximately 1,700 warheads remained on Ukrainian territory. While Ukraine had physical control of the weapons, it did not have operational control, as they were dependent on Russian-controlled electronic permissive action links and the Russian command and control system. In 1992, Ukraine agreed to voluntarily remove over 3,000 tactical nuclear weapons. Following the signing of the 1994 Budapest Memorandum on Security Assurances among the US, the UK, and Russia, as well as similar agreements with France and China, Ukraine agreed to destroy the rest of its nuclear weapons, and to join the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons by 1996. Ukraine transferred all Soviet-era strategic warheads to Russia. The second major dispute of early years was over the fate of the Black Sea Fleet as well as its operating bases, mainly Sevastopol on the Crimean Peninsula. 28. The issue was exacerbated by political posturing, Ukrainian proclamation that the entire fleet was under Russia's jurisdiction and intention to pursue a NATO membership action plan, followed by Russian politicians' expressions of territorial claims over parts of Crimea and declaration by Russian parliament that the 1954 gifting of Crimea to Ukraine was illegitimate, making the peninsula an ongoing issue in negotiations. The action of transfer was attributed to Communist Party First Secretary Nikita Khrushchev. 34. After several years of intense negotiations, the whole issue was resolved in 1997. The partition treaty divided the fleet and allowed Russia to lease some of the naval bases in Sevastopol to the Russian Navy until 2017, and Treaty of Friendship fixed the principle of strategic partnership, the recognition of the inviolability of existing borders, respect for territorial integrity and mutual commitment not to use its territory to harm the security of each other. Another major dispute was related to the energy supplies, as several Soviet, Western Europe oil and gas pipelines ran through Ukraine. Later, after new treaties came into effect, Ukraine's gas debt arrears to Russia were paid off by transfer of some nuclear-capable weapons that Ukraine inherited from the USSR to Russia, such as the Tu-160 strategic bombers. While the Russian share in Ukraine's exports declined from 26.2% in 1997 to around 23% in 1998 to 2000, the share of imports held steady at 45 to 50% of the total. Overall, between one-third and one-half of Ukraine's trade was with the Russian Federation. Dependence was particularly strong in energy. Up to 70 to 75% of annually consumed gas and close to 80% of oil came from Russia. On the export side, too, dependence was significant. Russia remained Ukraine's primary market for ferrous metals, steel plate and pipes, electric machinery, machine tools and equipment, food, and products of chemical industry. It has been a market of hope for Ukraine's high value-added goods, more than 9/10 of which were historically tied to the Russian consumer. With old buyers gone by 1997, Ukraine had experienced a 97 to 99% drop in production of industrial machines with digital control systems, television sets, tape recorders, excavators, cars and trucks. At the same time, and in spite of the post-communist slowdown, Russia came out as the fourth largest investor in the Ukrainian economy after the US, the Netherlands, and Germany, having contributed $150.6 million out of $2.047 billion in foreign direct investment that Ukraine had received from all sources by 1998. Relations between the two countries have been hostile since the 2014 Ukrainian Revolution, which was followed by Russia's annexation of Crimea from Ukraine, and due to Russia's backing for the separatist fighters of the Donetsk People's Republic and the Luhansk People's Republic in a war conflicts that had killed more than 13,000 people by early 2020, and brought Western sanctions on Russia. Numerous bilateral agreements have been terminated and economic ties severed. Throughout 2021 and 2022, a Russian military buildup on the border of Ukraine escalated tensions between the two countries and strained their bilateral relations. Ukraine broke diplomatic relations with Moscow in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The conflict is a major blow to the global economy that will hurt growth and raise prices. Beyond the suffering and humanitarian crisis from Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the entire global economy will feel the effects of slower growth and faster inflation. The impact in terms of increased crude oil prices on the global front can have a spillover effect in terms of cost-push inflation. The war has also resulted in disrupting India's edible oil market as the country imports more than 90% of its sunflower oil from Russia and Ukraine combined. According to government estimates, at least $100 billion worth of infrastructure, buildings, roads, bridges, hospitals, schools, and other physical assets have been destroyed. The war has caused 50% of Ukrainian businesses to shut down completely, while the other half are forced to operate well below capacity. Public debt and levels of taxation increased during most conflicts. Consumption as a percent of GDP decreased during most conflicts. Investment as a percent of GDP decreased during most conflicts. Inflation increased during or as a direct consequence of these conflicts. High inflation hits middle-income savers the most as they see the value of their savings wiped out. If a country is devastated by war and the capacity to produce goods is sharply reduced, it can create the circumstances of hyperinflation as governments desperately print money to try and deal with the lack of goods. War destroys communities and families and often disrupts the development of the social and economic fabric of nations. The effects of war include long-term physical and psychological harm to children and adults, as well as reduction in material and human capital. Wars is not in the benefit of humanity. Many families loses their family members, kids become orphan, women become widow. There is great loss to property. After effect of war are also too bad. Necessary steps needs to be taken to bring his war to an end through dialogue, as war is not solution of any problem. Let us hope this crisis will end soon. Please don't forget to comment and subscribe YouTube channel. Please don't forget to share our videos. This might benefit someone.
Thanks a lot of watching the video. Please feel free to give suggestion, send motivational videos for the of benefit society. Raise your voice by making and sending plays, stories etc. Let us create awareness together. Please feel free to call us if you require any help. You can also be a part of our team or channel as a member or associate. Please call us. Our contact phone no at 981800399990 or on another phone no at 9540003999 or email at info.consumertimes@gmail.com. Visit our website www.consumertimes.in. Please like this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Our channel will motivate our team to work hard. Thank you.